Chino, make them see though. JP in the clutch, yeah, that ought to make them hush, baby. Hey, you looking at the grid. See us rise, never hesitate. Winners formulate. Pieces come together, now we egg drought buster. Hit him with the big dumper, his back the jumper. On to the next chapter, stage of wonders. Circle up and dance, taking every chance. Leave it on the diamond, we keep throwing heat. See the pin, too unique. Night and day, we chase the dream. Baby. We say home run, Julio. Yeah, we all on our feet. We all on our feet. Send it at a glance, hard work advance. We gon' make them feel all the heat, all the hit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new Teal Sleeves recap. We are back. It is a 5-game winning streak for the Mariners. How about that? Winning 5-1 tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And you know something? It just feels right to be in first place, to be over 500, and to take yet another series. And Joe is back with me. What's going on, brother?
Pretty good. Glad to be back after a pretty fun game to watch. So a lot of fun things to talk about.
Ton of fun things to talk about, but the one thing that we do need to talk about, we've got to talk about our absolutely ace pitcher, Brian Wu. I mean, my God, 7 innings, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. But, you know, this is not a recap without, there's always positives, but there's always negatives. And here's the negative of this game. Why is it that every time we win a game, Dan Wilson still finds ways to piss me off? Even social media is asking, why are you yanking him? 86 pitches, 7 innings. I'm sorry. I'm one of those guys that is like, let your guy go out there. Let him see if he can finish what he can do. And, you know, 86 pitches, I feel like was a decent amount of pitches to where I think he could have gone back out there for the 8th inning. You could have saved the bullpen one extra arm. But other than that, you know, I think Brian Wu absolutely had his best start of the season. He went 4 1/3 of perfect baseball before he gave up that first hit. So, yeah, you know, we got to win, but still, Dan Wilson pissing me off.
I honestly feel like with him pulling after 7, I feel like he thought the game was decided. It might be a good idea to get some of the low leverage guys, like giving Hoppy an inning at the end, just because they've been playing so many close games recently. So it's probably nice to get them in a less stressful situation to pitch.
You know, I am not going to disagree with you on that one because, look, you got guys that needed to get some work in. You got Cooper Criswell, who came in 1 inning, only gave up a hit, no runs, 20 pitches. Alex O'Hoppe gave up a run, but in all honesty, that was Mitch Garver's fault. That was actually Mitch Garver's fault.
Also, like Hoppy wasn't covering, which is definitely a rookie mistake.
I would love to know what in the heck both of them were doing, because like Garver was just, he's like, I'll just, you know, get to this as quick as I can or as slow as I can. But it's like, you know, I'm fine with it. We won the game 5-1, and it's ironic that we won 5-1, 5-game winning streak. So let's score 6 runs tomorrow, get the 6-game winning streak. But I mean, it was home run freaking derby tonight. Luke Rayleigh takes one out of the ballpark. Don Canzone goes out of the ballpark. Colt Emerson, his 2nd home run of the game or of the season, was an absolute missile. And Julio Rodriguez, this is something we're going to get into here in a little bit. 10th home run of the month. This dude is playing a whole different game this year. 4 home runs by the Mariners. It was absolutely unbelievable. And it was so nice to see these guys finally get, you know, just really get it going. Because I mean, it's this offense has struggled the whole season. And over the last now 5 games, they have just played their most complete baseball, which is so good to see.
4 home runs, all solo shots. It's definitely a good sign for the offense. And feel like the Mariners have been relying on Julio a lot, especially since all New Cal went to what he did last year, and now he's hurt, so he's basically a non-factor. So Julio being able to like actually hit in the first half, I feel like is definitely helping this team out a lot more than he has any other time early in the season in his career.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling up Julio right now on baseball. On Baseball Reference right now. I mean, Julio Rodriguez absolutely is. I mean, this is something that we do need to talk about before we get back into the recap. Through what is it now? It has been 59 games. So tomorrow's, how about this? Tomorrow is the 60th game of the year. Good God, am I the only one who thinks this season's gone by a little fast so far?
That's fine.
Jeez Louise.
Time flies when you're having fun, though. So makes sense. Makes sense why the off season feels. Makes sense why it feels like the off season takes up 2/3 of the year and it really doesn't.
Well, I mean, let's also be honest. Like, 2/3 of this season has not been fun. So I'm just saying. But Julio Rodriguez through so far now 59 games. Pulled up the wrong one. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I mean, this is just something that this kid is. Julio Rodriguez is still 25 years old. He is 25 years old. Absolutely unbelievable. Now coming into this game, is now batting 269, I believe. Yeah, 260. Yeah, batting 269, 12 home runs, 30 RBIs, 326 on base percentage with a 801 OPS. The stolen bases are not there like we thought they would be. Like, if you were to tell me, like, at this point in the season that Randy Arozarena would be leading the team in stolen bases, I would have said, really? Over Julio Rodriguez? But you know something? Julio Rodriguez, last 15 games, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, 17 out of 63, 270. And then in his last 7 games, 10 for 31, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, and a 323 batting average with a 774 slugging percentage. Absolutely unbelievable. Julio is just having the time of his life this year. And I don't want to kind of jinx it. I'm actually going to knock on wood. There we go. But he is actually putting up some MVP numbers this season so far, which is scary to think about because we have not seen the best of him.
Well, we're honest, I haven't really looked much into the other AL center fielder stats, but do you think he could start the All-Star game?
I'm starting to think, yeah, maybe he could. He might actually be able to get his first. He might be able to get his first start in center field. I'm not opposed to it. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, the All-Star game, to me, I could care less if a Mariners starts or if they just come in as a reserve. I was glad that Cal Raleigh was a starter last year. Julio, of course, had an All-Star nod last year and then decided to skip it, which was one of the best decisions of his life. Maybe he'll do the same this year if he gets the All-Star nod. He'd be like, yeah, I'm the best center fielder, but I want to focus on getting to the big time. Because when he skipped that All-Star game, I was like, that's a great way. I was like, Julio's coming back in the second half. He's coming back with a vengeance, and he did. And Julio Rodriguez this year has been more valuable at the plate rather than on the base pass or in the field. His fielding still got to get a little bit of it's got to improve a little bit. But I say this, when he gets on base, I would love to see him steal more bases. That's all I'm saying.
How many stolen bases do you have this year? Because it does feel like he's running a ton, but if he's saying like I'm not too mad about it.
Julio has got 5 stolen bases.
5 for 7, then.
5 for 7, which is actually weird if you ask me. One big positivity, one big thing to take away from this game is, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about Colt Emerson because I mean, this dude, ever since What is he? What is he now? Is he 12 week? Is he now officially 2 weeks old in the pros? I think he's officially 2 weeks
Yeah,
old
as of tomorrow.
as of tomorrow. 2 weeks old in the pros, and he looks so comfortable at the plate. I mean, I say last night was actually his worst game, if that, because he swung at a lot of bad pitches last night. He didn't necessarily look comfortable at the plate, but tonight he took that fastball that Ryan Nelson threw to him, and he didn't miss it. It was not even a cheap home run.
And the Griffey follow through too, which was cool to see.
I mean, it was so cool to see, but I mean, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. I mean, unfortunately, Josh Naylor and Randy Arozarena, they couldn't get into the hit parade today. Naylor goes 0 for 4, Randy goes 0 for 4, but Randy does score a run. But I don't think they care about that. I think they care more about winning.
Mhm.
Mitch Garver, though, I do need to say this. I thought this was actually kind of funny because the Lockdown Mariner podcast posted about this, and I thought this was
Like
absolutely hilarious.
Like you just reposted.
Yeah, so it says, since Cal Raleigh was placed on the IL on May 14th, Mitch Garver and Johnny Pareda have combined to slash 217, 321, 435, and a 121 WRC plus with a 28.8% strikeout rate, 11.3 walk rate, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. And it says that their half F WAR is tied for the 5th best mark among all catching tandems over this stretch, which is unbelievable if you think about it.
Russ, imagine showing that to a Mariners fan before the season and saying that this will happen at some point.
that would have been crazy. Getting into this, there's not a real whole lot to talk about this recap because, I mean, the Mariners had this from the word go. After the 3rd inning, they had it. But, I mean, Brian Wu getting his 5th win of the season, lowering that ERA to 3.44, absolutely unbelievable game tonight. But I kind of want to discuss this before we almost close out this recap. I think it's kind of funny because I was saying earlier today that, if Dom Canzone doesn't pick it up, I think the Mariners need to consider when Cal Raleigh comes back, maybe using Cal Raleigh as a designated hitter for the rest of the year. Because me personally, I think he would serve best being a designated hitter, especially with that oblique injury, because you never know. You could re-injure it. But ironically, Dom Canzone says, oh, you want to see how well I can hit? Sure, I'll hit it over a mile. And he just absolutely crushed that one tonight. But I do think the Mariners do have a situation when Cal Raleigh comes back because they're going to have to decide, are you going to go with 3 catchers? And I think the Mariners should go with them. And I think that they should go with Mitch Garver and Johnny Pareda as a tandem and make Cal Raleigh your designated hitter.
I think that's something that's kind of interesting to think about because I haven't seen anyone say much about it online. But also, me personally, I'm not necessarily a fan of having someone who's essentially a DH only, especially with how Cal's looked so far. Unless they're a top 5 DH in the league, I'm not really the biggest fan of it.
No, I agree with you. I do think, though, that the Mariners are going to take the necessary precautions. But, if it comes down to it, I kind of want Johnny Pareda as a backup. I mean, I will say it right now here on this recap. I've been one of the biggest Mitch Garver defenders that you'll ever meet. I've defended this man so much. I want him to succeed. But yeah, I would choose Johnny Pareda.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to choose Johnny Pareda over Mitch Garver, unfortunately.
Also, going back to the catcher situation, I feel like with how the catchers are playing, I don't think there's much need to rush Cal back, and then he could just
absolutely not. Because I had a feeling that Cal Raleigh was going to be down for at least a month, if not a month and a half, and the Mariners have responded very well about keeping their head afloat. Keeping their head afloat, with the injuries and everything, because you look at it right now. You look at their lineup right now, and you have a terrific lineup right now. The only thing that you're looking at is you're missing Cal Raleigh. That's it. And you're missing Brendan Donovan. Imagine if Brendan Donovan comes back, and now the Mariners have a huge decision to make. And in my opinion, if you have a decision to make, you switch Colt Emerson to shortstop. You put Brendan Donovan back at third base. You make J.P. Crawford your designated hitter. I think J.P. Crawford has earned that. He has been. I never want to see this man in any other colors except teal. I don't ever want to see him in another jersey. But I do believe when Brendan Donovan comes back, you put him back at third base, you put Colt at short, JB becomes your DH.
I feel like you can make an argument for that, but also I kind of intrigued to see how the third base situation works out with playing JP there, because like Donovan comes back, they probably shouldn't play him every day, so like maybe they play him like 2 out of 3 days in different spots. So then I feel like that kind of will find a way to get everyone who they want to play in the lineup pretty consistently.
Or if you want to work him back, you could always make Donovan your DH.
Yeah, like maybe he could play like over 4 games, like sample size. He plays like 2 games in the field at whatever position, 1 at DH, and maybe as like an off day, or if the Mariners have an off day in that stretch, that could be his off day. But I'm
Absolutely.
trying to see what they do like as he gets closer, which I don't know when exactly that would be yet.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, before we get out of here, of course, we need to preview, of course, tomorrow. I kind of want to do this just because, tomorrow we have, of course, the opening line for the Mariners are the favorite by 1.5. If you guys are betting people, I'm assuming people are out there who do watch this are going to say, yeah, sure, I do bet baseball. The money line, of course, on the Mariners is at minus 156. If you are a gambler, you are picking the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are not favored, 129 plus at 1.5 plus, of course. Tomorrow, of course, though, it is a piggyback day, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of this piggybacking. And Bryce Miller will head to the mound against Merrill Kelly. And this ought to be an interesting matchup because Kelly, here's the thing. You hit 4 home runs tonight. Merrill Kelly, he has given up 8 home runs this year. So it is another opportunity for you to take advantage of a pitcher who has given up the long ball to take him deep. And, can we get 2 sweeps in a row? It would be so sweet to get 2 sweeps in a row and just be like, we're freaking back, baby.
Like after how the Mariners have been playing the first round, I'm like they're one hot streak like this from actually looking like themselves and being a contender in first place. I feel like we might be looking at the middle. We're in the middle of that right now.
Oh yeah. By the way, are you wearing the 2025 postseason hat? By the way.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. I tend to get one every time the Mariners make the playoffs, and obviously that has not been that much in my lifetime.
No, it has not. But I can assure you, in my lifetime, I've seen every postseason. I was 5 years old when they first made the playoffs.
Right, they did make the playoffs for the first time in my life until my sophomore year of college, which is ridiculous. Oh
God, that's so brutal. Jeez. Oh my God, that just tells you how old I am. I'm almost 40 years old, for God's sakes. But yes, so once again tomorrow, of course, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do MGM. I always prefer MGM to do my betting. Like for some reason, like I'm always a betting person when it comes to MGM. Let me go ahead and look this up. So tomorrow, if you are gonna be betting on the Seattle Mariners. Yes, it's already at 1.5 for the Mariners are the favorite, 1.5. Money line is at plus 125 for the Diamondbacks and minus 155 for the Mariners. Do you know something? If you are going to do a parlay bet, and I think if Bryce Miller has a line of 5.5 strikeouts, I take that. I would take that to build the parlay. I would take the money line on the Mariners. And if Julio is at, actually, if Josh Naylor is at a half a hit and Randy has a half a hit, take that. That's your parlay for me. Randy and Josh Naylor with a half a hit. Bryce Miller, if the line says 5.5, take the 5.5, and Mariners money line. That is my parlay for tomorrow. But for anyway, that is going to do it for this episode of Teal Sleeves Recap. Always great to have Joe back here. We will be back here not 10 minutes after the game because I work tomorrow. So we should be back, probably around 6 p.m. You never know. But
I have
either
a
way,
game tomorrow night, so I won't be here for doing it then.
all right. So I guess I'll be doing it solo then. But either way, that is going to do it for this episode of Teal Sleeves Recap. Sorry, guys. Please be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the little bell icon. That way you get notified whenever we go live for these recaps. And please do be sure to share the channel in any way possible. That is it for me and Joe. And this has been Teal Sleeves Recap.
See you guys.